Children have gone back to school, that is done. Then we have now the budget, it's also now done. For us analysts, it has also been something you must read here, turn, read, turn.
And we're still reading.
Well, now it's more or less implementation. But you see, before it's presented, you know, tomorrow you may have this professor, you may have this expert. So you're reading, you're noting. So that is done. And now we wait for implementation. Because now it is confirmed, the budget was read, the president spoke, the minister said this is for the people of Uganda who are not in the money economy, it has been dedicated to them. We know we have about 17 trillion that is going to go for debt servicing. So now there is some relief. Because I don't think, unless it's a new law that requires us in our profession to read so much, like with the budget, if you're going to handle anything. So there is something to relax. But away from the budget, I don't know if you came across this Subaru driver who was trending, yes. Who tried to knock down a traffic officer. The man yesterday appeared in court and was remanded. And I've never seen Felix drive a Subaru, but I don't know what is the problem with Subaru drivers sometimes. Those guys, they seem to be in their own world. Sometimes you drive, there were about 2 weeks back, I was coming from Entebbe, and there was it called drifting. No, they drive these cars and it's the same thing. Then when you go to this roundabout, Munyonyo, you're going somewhere, you know, if you're coming this side, that's why you connect to an express highway. So you want to Entebbe Express. So you want to use that side, then connect and land to Kajansi. Guess what you find in the evening on Sundays? People are gathered, it is not safe, they have occupied the roundabout. Now they wanted to take a life, he wanted to take a life of a police officer. So Subaru, I know you have an organization, an association, Uncle Katwaro. Uncle Katwaro, please organize your people. Even there was one time when I think there was an attempted shooting at a Subaru driver, if you recall, about 2-3 years back, where still they had arguments. I think they were in their lane as Subaru drivers and someone comes in, a police officer. It was almost the same thing. And I think one had to fire the tires. One again was remanded. So yes, having a Subaru shouldn't be a reason for you.
I mean, it's a very bad thing because, again, in most of these stories that we've had, you usually hear something to do with a Subaru. But even away from that, really just being a very, because I don't know how to characterize that, the driver, because even away from the car, there is, I mean, now we want to, like, you know, focus on the driver, the person behind the wheels, because the car definitely wasn't in motion by itself. I don't think as a country we are there yet. So I want to believe there was a person behind the steering wheel. So the reckless driving is really eating us up. And I feel like at one moment we are very, very, very vocal about it. We are very alert. And then the next minute we just let it go. So, and it always, by the way, baffles me. This whole business of what they do, people drifting and doing all that crazy nonsense on the road, it really baffles my mind. I never understood why they feel like that should be something that they should be doing. And very many people feeling so excited about it. But, well, I hope that we don't see the numbers really go high, especially when it comes to accidents, reckless driving, and all of that insolence on the road. That is not something we would really want to see. Marlon, happy Friday. Good morning.
Well, good morning. It's actually a bit happy one, but I don't know. Good morning.
We'll take it.
Yeah. And guess what? We miss celebrations. Felix, I thought you didn't invite me for this celebration. Philo was just here celebrating her birthday.
What?
And I feel like we should recreate.
What did you just say?
I am telling you, we need to recreate this and celebrate again. So when we talk about Friday, I'm thinking, Philo, happy birthday. And
belated.
But we might need to recreate that celebration for sure. We might need to recreate that. But anyway, I think it's heading for the weekend. It's usually a good mood, so I do hope that everyone has that although sometimes it's not guaranteed. But that is why we're here every morning, to make sure that at least for a few hours, for the starts of Friday, we're able to get you somewhere towards having a good one. And obviously, that does come with a lot of package. Most people are always ready, but to some, it's like, it's just a normal weekend. And then there are some of us who are hustlers. You also have the weekend to actually do something else. So it never gets to be a break, really. And I think that's the challenge, because you want to take the weekend off and just relax a bit. But how about when you have another gig you want to do over the weekend? So you don't get to rest anyway. Well, that's weekend, and usually it's kind of, I don't know, it's a mess. So usually I'm not so excited about it, but I'm looking forward to it. That is just safe to say. I don't know.
Look Friday.
Yeah, thank you. And better for me. I don't know about Felix today not being ready. Maybe we should inspire him to be ready.
There's no concert.
There is no, because there is no concert.
There is no concert.
But you know, last weekend he did go for Boys to Men, and just a few days later, Boys to Men are posting pictures of Kampala, but they were in Nairobi.
No,
and I'm wondering, how do the Felixes feel about this?
They actually, I saw them share content for one country. They did.
Apparently, the ones for Kampala were shared that they are for Nairobi, and I don't know the group that went for the show in Kampala whether they were happy about that.
The only thing we wanted from them is the show, really. Whether they post it or don't post, that's for them to deal
Just
with.
remember how happy Felix was on Monday.
Yeah.
We need to understand Felix's curve of happiness.
No,
How
have a
does it?
concert, Juliana, Eddie Kenzo, Boys to Men, Backstreet Boys if you can. The UB40, I think those ones parted. You'll have Felix happy. But if it's a weekend, there's no show, then the man will not have vibe for the weekend.
Well, many other things will be happening this weekend, I can tell you, at least as a matter of fact. And we'll be lost in all those things. We'll be somehow lost somewhere.
I can't wait to see your face on Monday.
I'll be here.
Is
I'll be
Monday
here.
turning out to be one
That's
of
when you know
Felix's
how his
best days?
weekend was. If it is good, man, the man will come with vibe. If the weekend wasn't so, us who work with him trouble.
Well, it's Good Morning Uganda Friday special, and right about now we're going to go through some of our news briefs locally and internationally.
Let's begin with the budget reading that was yesterday, where the budget of 52.7 trillion shillings was read out yesterday, and it is for the financial year 2023-2024. Now, in the next financial year, 17 trillion is meant for clearance of debts. This underscores the need to handle well the private sector to promote more industrialization and reduce on borrowing. Addressing Ugandans during the 2023-2024 budget reading, President Yoweri Museveni challenged Ugandans to embrace import substitution and export promotion to be upheld. This will boost economic recovery, expansion, and diversification. The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development said the budget for the financial 2023-2024 is dedicated to Ugandans still trapped outside the money economy. Minister Matia Kasaija, while presenting the budget to Parliament, said 1.1 trillion budget has been budgeted for parish development model next financial year.
Now, the Anti-Corruption Court in Kololo is set to commit Minister Kitutu for Karamoja Affairs, that is Mary Goretti Kitutu, and two others to the High Court over causing loss of public property. Now, this followed when the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution informing court that investigations in the matter against the accused are complete. The minister and two others are still facing offences of causing loss in public property in the Anti-Corruption Court in Kololo.
And moving on, the State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, has warned Jinja District Zonal Land Office personnel against fraud and mismanagement of land titles. He said this during a capacity building retreat for resident district commissioners, resident city commissioners, DRCs, DRCCs, RISOs and DISOs from Busoga sub-region at the Source of the Nile Hotel in Jinja.
Makerere University has developed an electric cooker to respond to the current that is a paradigm shift in the energy sector. The School of Food Technology, Nutrition and Bioenergy Engineering has designed this device under the development, production, scale-up and commercialization project. Now, the innovation was funded by Government of Uganda through Makerere University Innovation Fund program.
And looking at some of the international stories, iPhone maker Foxconn is betting big on electric cars and redrawing some of its supply chains as it navigates a new era of icy Washington-Beijing relations. In an exclusive interview, chairman and boss Yang Liu told media houses that the future may hold quite a lot for the Taiwanese firm. He said even if Foxconn shifts some supply chains away from China, electric vehicles are what will drive its growth in the coming decades. Now, as US-China tensions soar, Mr. Liu said Foxconn must prepare for the worst. Reports of the widespread use of torture by Russian forces in Ukraine could indicate that the severe abuse of Ukrainian prisoners of war and civilians is state endorsed by Moscow. A state nation's expert came out to reveal this. UN Special Rapporteur on Torture Alice Jill Edwards said on Thursday that she was alarmed by reports and testimonies which appeared to indicate that Russian forces in Ukraine are consistently and intentionally inflicting severe physical and psychological pain and suffering on both civilian and military prisoners.
Now moving on, our Tanzanian authority has arrested 2 church leaders for allegedly detaining dozens of sick people while promising to heal them through prayer and traditional herbs. The more than 100 people were kept in the so-called traditional wards, mud-walled huts with brick beds built around the church in Nyamhinza village, Musingwi district in the northwestern region of Mwanza, with no medical treatment or food being provided. Some had been there for up to a month and they were required to find food for themselves until they fully recovered. They were found after locals alerted the police that some people were dying after leaving hospitals, including a woman who had joined the church soon after giving birth to twins. At the end of last week, the police took the sick people back to hospitals for treatment, and they are now investigating possible death and whether there are bodies buried nearby. Now in climate news, worldwide temperature briefs exceeded a key warming threshold earlier this month, a hint of heat as it warms to come, scientists worry. The mercury has since dipped again, but experts say the short surge marked a new global heat record for June and indicates more extremes ahead as the planet enters an El Niño phase that could last years. Researchers at the European Union Copernicus Climate Change Service said on Thursday that the start of June saw global surface air temperatures rise 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels for the first time. That is the threshold governments said they would try to stay within at a 2015 summit in Paris.
Uganda Friday special taking you all around the world, what's happening within and outside the country. But there's one interesting story that came out, guys, according to a report that was released by World Health Organization. And they were talking, ranking a number of countries and also looking at their alcohol consumption. And well, Uganda was ranked very high, okay, very, very high when it comes to alcohol consumption. And they said on average, a Ugandan consumes about 12.21 liters of alcohol annually, every single year. An ordinary Ugandan consumes about 12.21 liters.
statistics. Who is getting this?
But do you think they're lying?
We take more than Uganda.
No,
Oh.
individuals. You can speak for yourself, but when they say Ugandans, it means they have made like, an average, and now they're projecting that on every Ugandan.
I want to know what
I don't
Felix
think these
has to say
statistics
about
are
this.
right.
Yes, Felix.
These are wrong.
And I'm not trying to, yes.
Felix, alcohol.
Well, I know for a fact that Ugandans love to be happy, and alcohol is one of the sources of happiness for very many people. Because of the state it puts you in, many people worry less when they are apparently under the influence of
The
alcohol.
Ugandans are the most worried ones.
Not necessarily, but everywhere in the world. Sometimes these statistics are informed, but truth be told, Ugandans take a lot of alcohol. I don't know if it's about the liters, whatever they have said, but I know for a fact that they consume quite a lot of alcohol. That's a matter of fact.
And the average has been underrated because really alcohol is very important. In some cultures, you can't even marry if you don't come with a chitacho mwenge. So alcohol.
We are not talking about alcohol in terms of functions.
I'm just trying to give this a broader picture of what alcohol means. In Uganda here, there is no happiness when there is no alcohol. You make a party, you don't have booze, people will move away from that. But Molenona report says on average...
You've seen how boring your weddings are, the Pentecostals and our brothers, the Muslims.
Why? Because there is... who says they are boring? They are not.
Because
they are not. They are not. And by the way, I think you guys are just exaggerating this. Maybe it's because you guys are okay with taking alcohol, but when they say on average, they are pulling some of us in.
Reports are done like that, Molen. All reports.
Yeah, but that is a
If it's
huge
health,
number. I feel like this has
when
been
you say on
exaggerated
average,
for. This is exaggerated
say
for
the word
Uganda.
On
Maybe.
average, every woman in Uganda
No, you ask
gives
Molen,
about this.
what is your thought?
I think South Africa should be up there, not Uganda.
Why?
Those people take a lot of alcohol. Almost every home has a winery. How do you explain that? Almost every home has a winery. That is still alcohol. And Uganda that doesn't even have a single grape yard. Like we don't have wineries
alcohol
here.
out of grapes.
Tell you what, the
Oh,
alcohol they are
you don't know
talking
that
about in
wine is
Uganda.
alcohol.
Leave alone
Okay.
people who
Have you
take
had things like talkie?
kabao.
So you
Go
get
down.
the solid.
People who take alcohol
You're
don't
talking
sleep
about
in Kololo.
wine.
The ones,
wine.
but you got all these.
Just go in the villages.
In the
go to
villages,
Masaka.
that is where you're going to find Mwenge.
Actually, when you go to the
Tonto.
west, I don't know, the people they should cut out, these studies should cut out and say, how about the western
Regions.
part, the Iteso, those,
Our brother, the northern Uganda are dying out of alcohol continuous until government said
Okay.
Waraji should not
It
cross
doesn't help.
Karuma. You're found selling Waraji crossing Karuma, you're arrested. People don't have so much to
in
make
Uganda, I
them
think
happy.
we have
late.
over 1 million types of brew.
Yes.
When you go to the west, they have their own sample of Misma, of Musururu, or they have like all types, some in the form of Gusela, all the times of what, like.
And what
When
is
you
left
go
to make-
to our brothers in the east, they have Ajono, they have what, they have Marwa. Like the types of alcohol in Uganda will also first shock you before you come to the statistics.
And every day
when
we
you
are
come to the
developing
central
more.
parts, that's the thing.
Every
And
day we are
let's talk
developing
about
more.
what's done on the shelves of supermarkets or
Yes.
shops or all these kind of things.
And
But
Felix, just to help my sister here, this may
Indeed.
not be the best of a statement, but amongst the few things left to make Ugandans happy lies alcohol.
so they are sad because of what?
That I have no answer.
Don't you guys have the
You're
only
asking why
answers?
Ugandans are sad?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I could give you I could give you a whole list of all these reasons.
I would want to hear about your
Well, we still have time. We'll be sharing. I'll be sharing with you. I'll be dropping one reason after another. Just tell you why actually Ugandans can be very sad people, and probably why they have decided, or they've decided to seek consolation in
but
alcohol.
you see, what is the effect of these statistics?
We'll be discussing that more much later on. Well, it's Good Morning Uganda Friday special, and we definitely have someone special in the house this morning. Ever thought about I don't know whether I should call it a talent or a skill of storytelling? Well, have you ever created time to appreciate how some of the people who are heavily involved in it are talented? Well, this morning we will be having one of those wonderful people, our guest Zoe, quite a very wonderful storyteller, but also a singer, and we'll be having a performance from her. And of course, much later on, we'll be having quite some engaging and wonderful discussions with her. So you want to stay with the entire crew for this and much more. Good Morning Uganda will return shortly after the break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by
Gatawo with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *100*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*10#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*10# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
The Magical Egypt Tour 2023 is here. A heavenly miracle waiting across the natural and divine attractions of Egypt, such as Cairo, Giza Pyramids, Saqqara, Memphis, and many more that will offer the gift of a lifetime. The chance to unlock all of the hidden powers of mind and soul, gain the enlightenment of the past and the future, and develop the power of healing. Departure will be Friday 16th up to 23rd June 2023. Basic package starting at $1,200, 8 days and 7 nights. To register, come to Gotove Tours and Travel at Nalkwego Complex Suta, UG's Extender, George Street, Nakasero, or call +256 758 530 059 or +256 784 568 392 or WhatsApp +256 782 556 078. Only few slots are left. Powered by UBC Television.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Uganda is rich in natural resources and hard-working people. But to turn these resources into real progress and development, we need to invest in our infrastructure, education, and health care. That's where taxes come in. When we pay our taxes, we are investing in our country's future. We are supporting the schools that educate our children, the hospitals that care for our families, and the roads and bridges that connect our communities.
And when businesses pay their taxes, they are contributing to the growth and development of Uganda's economy. They are helping to build a stronger, more prosperous nation for us all.
So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda and supporting the progress and development of our nation. Uganda is because of you.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
My name is Atube Richard, a member of a group called Kanyope, located in Bungatira sub-county. This group started in 2008, but the Prelnol project started supporting us in 2009. The project has offered us training on farming, and the training we got has helped us immensely. We used to farm in a traditional way, planting a variety of crops. But when the team from Prelnor approached us, they asked us to choose particular seeds to grow which can yield very well in our area. We chose groundnuts and rice, which we are growing. With this kind of farming, the project also taught us how to sell as a group after finding a market. The support from the project has been so good to us.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda Friday special is what you are watching right now. And I did promise you just a couple minutes back that we'll be having a fast performance from our very special guest this morning, Zoe, a singer and a storyteller. Anyway, even before we get into some more discussions much later on, definitely we want to hear what it is that she's giving us this morning. Before anything, Zoe, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good.
How are you feeling?
Good.
Good, good.
Yes.
I'm happy to know that you're feeling good, and I intend to make sure you feel good all the way.
Oh, thank you.
So what are you giving us this morning, your first performance?
My first performance is a song from Bugwere. Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will give the platform to you, and please do your thing.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, Uganda. I bring you stories and music from Bugwere land this morning. This song is called Onsanyuseko. Is it here? Is it here? Oh, certain boy. Dynamite nti walizoti, dynamite walifana noti, dynamite nti walinsanyisoti. Nasabanga ino katono muntu, gatima itente chankumire. Kisakiti Onsanyusyeko, onsanyusyeko. Ni ebintu ebyensuba, ni ebintu byenetaaga. Onsekesyeko, nze onsekesyeko. Ni ebintu ebyensuba, ni ebintu byenetaaga. Ai, ni ebyensuba, ai, ni ebyensuba, ai, byenetaaga. Ni ebintu byenetaaga. Ai, ni ebyensuba nze, ai, ni ebyensuba nze, ai, byenetaaga. Ni ebintu byenetaaga. Oh, is it here, boy? Is he here? Oh, certain boy. Ingate maite, katonda wange, awulira sole gyensaba. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oyagaba wanda, niyagaba obufumbo. Oyagaba kasana, niyagaba naikendi. Sekasiako boy, ni ebintu ebyensuba, ni ebintu byenetaaga. Onsekasiako boy, ah, onsekasiako. Ni ebintu ebyensuba, ni ebintu byenetaaga. Thank you. Thank you, Uganda.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Uganda is rich in natural resources and hard-working people. But to turn these resources into real progress and development, we need to invest in our infrastructure, education, and healthcare. That's where taxes come in. When we pay our taxes, we are investing in our country's future. We are supporting the schools that educate our children, the hospitals that care for our families, and the roads and bridges that connect our communities. And when businesses pay their taxes, they are contributing to the growth and development of Uganda's economy. They are helping to build a stronger, more prosperous nation for us all. So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda and supporting the progress and development of our nation. Uganda is because of you.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Are you ready to celebrate a decade of making a positive climate impact? Join us in celebrating 10 years of Tree Adoption Uganda's mission to reforest and conserve our environment on the 18th of June 2023 at Makerere University Rugby Grounds. For a decade, we have been engaging in various climate action activities, especially tree growing, as well as advocating for combined efforts to restore Uganda's ecosystem. And the results speak for themselves: healthier communities and a greener tomorrow. Join us in our anniversary celebrations and be part of the Change Run for Climate 2023. Tickets go for Uganda shillings 20,000. To participate, visit our website at www.treeadoptionuganda.org to learn more about our mission and how you can get involved. Let us continue to plant the seeds of change together with Tree Adoption Uganda.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda Friday special. We are still with you, at least for the greater part of this morning. Definitely, it will be very interesting to have you be with us all the way. Well, this morning's discussion, we had had a teaser in the last couple of minutes where we did talk about the alcohol consumption in Uganda. And again, this according to the report that was released by World Health Organization, ranking countries and how much alcohol they are taking. So myself, Uncle Bob, and Molen plus Felix will be looking at this report, and very many other things were released, were revealed rather, highlights of this report, and things that actually we need to really look so much into and give our attention to. Now, according to this 2023 report released by the Global Health Body, on average, a Ugandan consumes about 12.21 liters of alcohol. Now, this is on an annual basis. But here's another that you need to really consider. Men consume more than women, with an average of 19.93 liters of pure alcohol annually, compared to 4.88 liters of women. I'll repeat that for clarification. Men are consuming more alcohol in comparison to women, and on average they're looking at 19.93 liters, and women, we're looking at about 4.88 liters being consumed annually. Now, on the second list, Seychelles came through with an annual consumption of alcohol of about 11.99 liters of pure liquor for men and 4.72 for women. Tanzania took in the third place as well, and again I'll be sharing that the statistics later on. But seeing that happening, and I want to really talk to the guys first here. Uncle Bob, what's going on?
To explain the statistics why men take more, well, they're the ones that buy, and by and large in Uganda, if you have to look at the population in general, men are more empowered financially compared to the women. Actually, a number of women are given by men. Today is a Friday, take time, go to these happening places. You see a few women will buy alcohol, but most of the beauties around, someone will be buying for them. So if someone
this is not even buying, this is consumption. This is
of course you're buying for them to take.
It's
when
not
you
about
buy,
buying, it's about taking the alcohol, consuming.
Yes,
we're not talking about purchasing.
I told you why men take more than women. Because they have the purchasing power compared to women. On average, men in Uganda, financially, Uganda Bureau of Statistics will give you that. Men are the ones that own land, they own this. Despite a lot that has been done to lift the economic welfare of women in this country, still men dominate in terms of money compared to the ladies. Women may dominate in terms of population numbers. So this then is reflected when you go So then this is reflected.
This is our sister.
That, yes, I have daughters, I have sisters. So definitely you find that those that have purchasing power will take more because alcohol is not for free. But looking at this report,
To him it's wealth.
when we talk about Uganda being high, there are a number of reasons why people take alcohol.
Yes, even aside
First,
from
availability and affordability. That's why when you go to Arab countries, because it's not available, it's not affordable, you may not find alcohol that very easy, even if you have the monies. Now, come to Uganda. We may not have medicine in hospitals. We may not have sometimes even food. But one thing that we have in plenty in Uganda is alcohol. Both that is where we have had value addition, and even that where there is no value addition. For example, I see people sipping some types of drinks and they feel, yes, this is this brand. But there is someone who is taking crude or taking something similar to that. So one, we have plenty of alcohol. I don't know how many types my senior in that, Felix, said that we have about
Senior
over 1,000
exactly?
or what. Leave that. We have so many of these types around, but alcohol is very available in Uganda. And we don't have proper regulations. Honorable Saro Pendi, if I remember very well, wanted to push or bring a law on table to regulate. This issue of alcohol is not sold to children under 18 years. That is funny. It's like we have tobacco smoking can cause cancer. You get it? If there is no implementation, today alcohol is very available and also affordable. 500 shillings, someone is taking alcohol. 200 shillings, and no wonder that which is cheaper knocks you off quicker. You get this something of recent, is it Toledo or something? It is cheaper.
Just say it.
No, you're the one who reminded me of the name last time. I need you to remind me. It's just running off my head. So, what was it, Felix? It's called? So, the cheaper it is, the quicker. The alcoholic concentration in it is very high. Molen will have her wine because I know she's Molen doesn't do these beers and what, it's wines. But the alcoholic concentration in wines, which are even expensive, may be a bit less. Now ask Nkunda and the group, when they go and buy, I'm not saying he does, but he knows these localities, that of 200, they have those funny glasses, very small, as if they're apparatuses in laboratories. A thing of 200, 500 alcoholic concentration is so high. Our government, there's a time it said we ban alcohol sold in circuits. They thought they were going to tame this, but guess what? They developed funny plastic bottles. Still they can put their waraji, they can put that. So as long as alcohol is available, it is affordable, and there is no regulation to that, we shall have more people take and we shall still lead. We shall still bring these trophies home, you know, because their factors are there. Then followed now with depression and poverty. This I want to bring last because people will say, is everyone who is poor drinking? Is everyone who is poor drinking? Is everyone who is stressed drinking? Brother and sisters, personally I don't drink, but what I want to tell you, yes, I don't drink alcohol. But what I want to tell you, what I want to tell you, man, my fellow people in church watch so much, they can say, brother. But the truth of the matter is, many people, when they're in a fixed position, they want something that can somehow pass time and take them off what they're thinking about. Now, in third world countries, in countries where I have a huge number of its population in poverty, you're talking about 39% of the population, which is not in the money economy. Do you know what, Philo, that means? that 39% out of the 45 million people, those people are not in the money economy. Now, that frustration, if people don't run to religion or God, that is why you see the born-again faith growing so fast, because it sounds to give and assurance. People, if they don't run to religion, the next they will run to is going to be alcohol and drugs. So, when you have this huge population of people in absolute poverty, when they wake up and they don't know what tomorrow holds for them, they'll seek redress in alcohol.
Well, that's a very, very sad but a very realistic point of argument. And I'm just going to bounce the first question off to, to Felix. We're looking at generally the causes of, or why Uganda is actually ranking really most. But I want to understand though, but because I don't feel like Robert gave me a satisfactory response to why we're seeing, more men consuming alcohol. I need to really understand that because the statistics show, and it's not just even only in Uganda, when they're looking at the African continent, even in Seychelles, the country that comes second, the consumption amongst men is way higher than that of women. Even Tanzania as well. What could be the problem? Is it social pressure for the men? Is it, what could be the reason behind why alcohol consumption is more dominant amongst our brothers?
I think without necessarily trying to be defensive like my brother, we need to be quite realistic about the challenge of alcohol, and we need to look at it as a challenge, not necessarily a problem, but a challenge. We must also be honest enough to apportion responsibility that when you discuss the topic of abuse of drugs, which also alcohol is taken therein, you will know that men will come in the front of this for reasons not limited to some of the ones that I'm going to be giving. One, you must appreciate that the social pressures by far are carried by men than women in societies. And this will stretch from all sorts of disciplines. You can look at socio-economic, socio-political, socio-religious, social culture. Most of the burdens are carried by men. That's one. Secondly, we have been raised in a generation, later on society, that looks at these two genders very differently in terms of judgment and in terms of expectation. How does that even work towards your question? One, it is okay for a man to drink himself silly. It can easily be taken in by society. Yet the reverse is the truth when it comes to our dear sisters, wives, and daughters. And I want to give you a scenario. If you found a man staggering this morning, you would let it pass.
Yes.
If you found a woman, it would sort of like get to... Now, that's perception. We have been raised in a society where men are let to go away with lots of things, yet women are not. Relate that to the issue of polygamy. It's supposed to be normal for a man to have various wives and kids and all this, but it's so abominable for a woman to have a child. You did this story about men trying to rush about DNAs and what and what and what. Why is it an issue? Because of perception. Now, society has perceived that men's wrongs are supposed to be okay. It has okayed the wrong things that men do versus the wrong things that women do. And that's one of the biggest things. Men feel comfortable to treat their lives the way they want, regardless. Yet women actually don't. Now, when you go to bars, all these men you see, Robert talked about men buying for women and what, that's not the actual thing. It's about the liberty that has been cast on men by society to do whatever they want, how they want, with who they want. That's the reality. And this has nothing to do with economics. No, it's a cultural, it's a society thing. Okay? Because the indifference that comes with the judgment is what has brought that sort of deception. Actually, it's deceptive. Because in the end of it, men have lost themselves thinking that, I mean, tell you what, like, I don't know how to say this in English, like no one can, you know, you find that
no one can hold you accountable.
That's the thing.
Yes.
They don't feel accountable. Actually, that's the right word. They don't feel accountable for most of the actions they do. And that's a society thing. It's an institutional, it's a culture thing. Like, who will ask you, even if you drink yourself silly? You get the point. So that is one of the reasons. But also, I want to disagree with the issue of poverty.
Yes.
It's normally becoming a hiding place for vagabonds.
Yes.
In quotes. That every other person who will fail to appreciate life as it should be always wants to run to that. But I can tell you the poorest country in the world is not Uganda. I don't know if you've seen it on that list. For some of you who have traveled, you'll know that the consuming, actually, these people who try to make you feel that for them they drink posh drinks, they consume more alcohol than even these other people.
Yes.
People who take drinks like whiskeys. Look at the alcohol content. The drink is 55%.
Being consumed by a normal person.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think poverty could have its place, but poverty, actually, in my opinion, for me, there are two things I can add instead of putting poverty. That is redundancy and unemployment. Or people not being occupied in the day-to-day economic transactions. People have a lot of time on their clocks. You know, I have seen people. You see, as in Bible school, they used to tell us something to do with. They say an idle mind.
It's a devil's
workshop.
Yes.
It is easy for you to think about the wildest thing in the world if you have nothing that is actually taking charge of your time, your mind, your body and soul. Actually, you see some people who drink and they tell you go that just because I have nothing to do. So when you go to countries where people are engaged, for example, you go to countries like China, where at least 70% of the population is engaged in production.
Very, very
you may
busy
look
people,
for a
yes.
bar. Trust me, you will look for a bar. You talked about, you live in these Arab countries, for them it is Sharia and what? There's a law. But there's no law. It is about production. People are engaged 24/7. People are working on shift. Philomena, after this job, you're going to this one, you're going to this one. You have 4 hours to rest. You can't say, in my 4 hours to rest, I'm going to take alcohol.
To use 1 hour or 2 hours.
Then to drink, then what?
Which
no.
will affect your productivity
in Uganda,
anyway. Yes.
And this is one of the biggest dilemma we face, that the would-be opportunities we have are being abused. Like the presence of the most important resources. One, good weather. Here, people don't trouble with life. You don't fear for any weather challenge. It's what the head of state said.
Yes.
Because one, the weather, can you imagine weather is a problem? But you've never thought about it that way in Uganda because have you ever been in 0 degrees? Like, how cold can it get here? There are countries where it is negative 20 throughout the year. January to January. How do you take alcohol the whole day in that side? So here, weather will facilitate your people's drinking because they don't have problems. Food is very much available, except for a few cases, but it is very much available. In this country, you can have a good, sober meal at 1,000 shillings. Where in the world can you get that? 1, 2, 3, bibili vitano, lukumi. You can eat a good meal. And tell you what, in Kampala, I'm not talking about out in the capital city.
You don't have to go really
go
outside
this side of
Kampala.
Nasa Road.
Yes.
You want chikumi. You go like you can have a good meal with 1,000. Now, what I'm saying, people do not feel challenged to break out. There is so much comfort. You people talk about poverty, but the poverty you're talking about is money. Those countries that you don't see on some of those lists have a lot of problems to deal with. When you go to some countries in Europe, if you don't have a warmer in your house, you will die. That will push you to go to bake some money, pay some gas, feed, all these kind of challenges. But our brothers and sisters are very much in comfort zones and what. That's, if you want, lastly about that, Philo. Also, our government policy on drugs is terribly wanting. Is terribly wanting. One of the the purposes of taxation when you're doing academics or even in practice, one of the major uses of taxation is to deter usage of harmful products. Now, countries use their tax regimes to reduce. When you see such a report, a country must see how to help its people. For example, how do you reduce people from over-smoking, people over-drinking? Taxation helps. Let me give this last example.
The heavy taxes on them.
When you go to some of the countries in Europe, when first time I went that side, I was so excited about eating junk. But junk is the most expensive food in Europe. It will cost you not less than about 15 pounds for a very small meal. Why? Because there are people who are dying. Cancer, obesity. So they thought the best way. It is not affordable. So for us also, government is doing us a disservice. In this country, you will get drunk at no cost. There are places where people just go to test. And someone drinks up to the point they get drunk.
We need to understand though, we have already seen statistics like this, and I mean, we've looked into the reasons, what's facilitating all of these. But again, I think it's also important to know about the aftermath when we see cases like this for a developing country like Uganda. I mean, we have very many problems we are dealing with, and now also consumption of alcohol definitely could be joining the list. But what could be the aftermath of all of this?
Well, I think it's really a broad topic if you talk about alcoholism, not just even away from the statistics. Generally, this is an issue that should be recognized as a problem, not something to pride in, like my friend Robert here was trying to do. This
Point of clarification, I must disassociate myself by saying I take proud of the outcomes of this report. Please don't quote me out of context.
What
context? I am clearly
proud.
I'm clearly just saying we have a problem. It is there.
No, that's not what you said.
No,
Robert.
it is there in this country, and I gave reasons to why we have context. So I don't take pride.
Your words now.
I don't take pride in alcoholism.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, we shall note that. But simply what I'm saying is, it's a problem that should be recognized, and I'm glad that we did have a background like Felix and Robert put it on what really causes this. But I think we also have to bring in the issue of mental health here. We know that a lot of people that turn to alcohol have had issues with, mental problems, either emotional challenges that end up being, a medical issue, that they turn to alcohol to kind of try to, get rid of that. But ultimately, it's not the solution. Before you know it, someone is already an addict. And at that point, even when they get rid of their mental issues, they think, okay, it was because of alcohol, but they have gotten another addiction, and it's kind of trying to cover the gap, but it doesn't solve the ultimate issue. So this is where, again, I have to call on again to the health department or to the Ministry of Health. Some of these issues, you will be there thinking people that are doing are consuming alcohol are just doing it out of their own will, but it's because of this other issue that has not been tended to. And of course, you look at issues like stress that are also encompassed in there. So ultimately, the effects of this kind of statistic, the effect of this kind of consumption will go again to increase the underlying problem, because even when they turn to alcohol, it doesn't solve the issue. They actually end up relapsing, and by the time they check in the hospital or the rehab center, it's already worse. So that is something that we can also look at. But I also want us to bring in the factor of family here. We know that most of the alcoholism as well has a family background. And usually doctors will tell you this. There are families where there have been drunkards right from the great-great-grandparents, that the kids just keep pushing these habits. And this is where now it's important for family to come in. The way you shape your kids and telling them, okay, guess what? Alcohol is not good for you to take. The child will grow up knowing, no, 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 this is not good. But when you grow up seeing your parents are falling on you know, roadsides because of alcohol, they are coming in late, they are sleeping in their cars, they are sleeping at the gate because they are drunk, a child will be traumatized. And they will know maybe this is normal because they have a lot of respect for their father.
Yes.
They will believe.
They've grown up seeing that.
Yeah, they've grown up seeing that. So they will be like, this is normal. I mean, and then you also have issues where you have unstable families. This particular man, and I'm saying this because even the statistics are showing that men have had a bigger number of consumption. A man comes home, he's drunk, he's probably violent and all that in some cases. This boy will pick it up, or the girl will pick it up and say, this is normal, I have to act like this. My father, after all, gets respect after he's drunk. So there are issues that we need to tackle at that level as well and see how bigger the effects can be. Because the moment you don't address that, the moment families don't come together as a person, you know you're an inspiration to these kids, what you're showing them is what they will become. Then you're creating a bigger problem in the future because they will also be drunkards. And then we'll also look at this whole peer pressure thing. We now have freedom. Everyone has freedom. This is Uganda. Even the kids have gotten that freedom after 18. Someone says, I'm an adult, and there's nothing you can do.
I'm allowed to make decisions.
Yeah, I make my own decisions. If I want to go buy alcohol, I will buy it. And of course, now they have the peer pressure, the friends, the kind of company they keep around. Obviously, and I've had this story from a lot of my friends who, you know, so much drinking, and they will tell you, I tried to quit, but you see, whenever I'm with this company, these guys are always forcing me to drink. They're not forcing them, but because it's out there. You know, someone buys and it's like, you know, beer for everyone. And because this person is, like I said, trying to quit. Not like they have quit, but they want
People are trying to quit at home sleeping. Why is she? Come on.
Because they have to. No, not specifically. So Felix, not
you
specifically
can't quit in the
bar.
bar. Quit in your bed. Come on, let's be serious.
Do you also realize it's supposed to be happening, but versus what is actually happening?
I don't want to be pregnant.
So
You're putting down your pants.
My point is, my point is, this necessarily, by the way, is not in the bar like Felix is trying to put it. You have a friend group where it necessarily doesn't even have to be a drinker. It can be anywhere. It can be a home. It can be just, you know, a house party. And you're there because you have to be with your friends. You're celebrating something, but there is alcohol on the table. And it's there. So it's a problem. Sometimes you really want to get rid of this, but and they say, no, just this one time. And before you, so the company will keep.
But Felix, talking about
the company will keep.
I'm shocked that you don't.
Oh,
contribute a lot.
That helps.
Yes.
Now
I think also,
just contextualize it for millennials.
What Molen talked about.
They can say they want to quit in bars.
But the millennials have also learned from their parents.
Let me tell you, one thing, I've spoken to a number of alcoholics and people who have been addicted and they want to quit. You see, most of these or substances that bring an addiction to life, quitting is not that very easy. It takes total commitment. Sometimes it takes serious life lessons. I've seen people who have managed to quit alcohol because he woke up and he came to notice he's jobless. He has lost almost everything because of alcohol. But then he says, no, this is my turning point.
But again,
what
if you look
Molen
at
you're
quitting,
saying is, it happens. One, alcohol is everywhere.
Yeah, we have already established that, and obviously with the statistics are not helping because clearly there are a lot of Ugandans that are consuming alcohol.
They're helping,
but what we're trying to get at,
priority.
Just a moment, what we're trying to get at is we look at the effects, long-term effects of what that is doing to us, or how, again, the way forward and how we can get out of that loop. Because it's not like we are here and we have to embrace the fact that, okay, alcoholism is here and this is okay. And like, again, I will say, Robert was, priding in this, saying, we are happy people. Let people drink around. We don't have to embrace that, but rather find a way. And just to the point I just put across about, the company we keep around. For someone who is trying to quit, you have to revise your company. You have to be like, okay, I know these people are calling for a house party or a get-together, but obviously there is going to be alcohol. Now, it is up to you to judge whether you really want to be exposed, because even medically, if you're addicted to something and you're trying to quit, the first thing they tell you is disconnect. Whatever is the trigger, whatever is triggering you to go to that kind of habit, you disconnect. So yes, you might have to lose a few friends who will not be aware of why you're not going to the get-togethers, but at least it helps you in your recovery. So that is one way to move forward with that. And again, we get back to the issue of family. Because now this thing is becoming generational. And you can handle it at any level. So I believe that even as parents, even as adults, we have a huge role to play. And it doesn't have to be even parents. As big brothers, as big sisters. Me, I would tell my little brother, guess what? You don't have to do this. You don't have to take alcohol.
To be a man.
Yeah, to be cool. And most of them just want to be cool kids. And we have been seeing a lot of the things like the prom recently. Have you seen the proms kids are throwing nowadays? They have all these, cool dresses at the red carpet, exposing and all that, because they believe that makes them cool. And this is exactly what even our brothers are doing. So you tell them there are other things that they could actually do that makes them cool than going to alcohol. That is one way to also get rid of the problem.
There is feedback coming in. There is feedback coming in. There is one viewer who is saying that, according to me, alcohol is actually not bad, but the way some people consume it makes it bad. So it's just not about the alcohol, it's about the habit of the consumption.
Because even in Holy Communion, we take alcohol.
So there is also feedback coming in from another
but you keep contradicting yourself.
That we are witnessing statistics like this because there is availability of local raw material for the production of alcohol in all parts of Uganda. And again, it's a source of income to locals. I think Felix talked about something like this. In the different parts of the country.
Because their parents were selling waraji.
Well, that's...
No, Robert, that's very unfair for you to say.
No, Felix.
Regardless, no. You don't determine how people earn and how people live. Let's not talk. No. This is the thing, Robert. One would say people who own hotels also should close because what people do in hotels in Kampala,
What is that?
So people go to lodges and what for what? They go there for what?
Okay.
But
go for workshops.
Anyway, we need to be coming to the end of this
That's why you do your workshops
discussion.
In the hotels.
But
Philomena, kindly give me just 1 minute to say this.
1 minute, yes.
I think for us not to bastardize this whole conversation and make meaning for our viewers, we must also appreciate the fact that alcohol is a life challenge, as Molen tried to put it earlier. It's something that we shouldn't easily shelf in our discussions. It's a true threat to society that we must handle diligently with care and carefulness. And this talks to parents, institutions, and later on, of course, individuals. We have lost so many people because of alcohol. If you go to the statistics of road carnage, we must deal with the problem of alcohol. Let's not just be excited about the statistics, whether men or women. At the end of the day, we are all victims. There are families today that don't have a father. We have orphans. We have women who are, let's be careful. Let's be very, very intentional. And the law has a role to play. When you go to other jurisdictions, you can't purchase alcohol minus an identification before your rightful age.
Yes.
But in this country, Robert talked about availability and affordability. Someone is as early as 5 years, they are drinking alcohol and they can buy it. Let's not make it very remarkable. This is a big threat. Let's not laugh about it and make it look casual. Alcohol and drug abuse are a big problem to national development. We have seen this affect very many countries. The would-be doctors are not doctors. Would-be lawyers, would-be engineers, let's be a bit are intentional about how we deal with this whole challenge of alcohol.
Well, it's good morning, Uganda. We will leave this. There is a lot of feedback coming in from very many people. They really have a lot to say, especially when it comes to regulation, talking about how incompetent, especially the implementation process is,
you know what?
When it comes to the laws.
You know what,
especially
when you met in Parliament,
there was too much.
Alcohol companies came out and presented how much they contribute in terms of taxes.
Yes.
To the revenue base of this country.
But I mean,
such regulations may put them out of business or affect what they bring to our national treasuries. So it is.
Well, clearly, it's a business, and they're all trying so much to defend their source of money. So yes, criticism like that definitely is going to be expected. Everyone will come out to defend, but also there has to be a standardized way of doing certain things, and also putting into consideration the effects of some of these businesses to the people around and Ugandan society generally. So, well, we'll leave the conversation at that, but of course, as we go on, I'll be sharing with you some more comments coming in. For now, we'll go for a break, and we'll still have a lot to come through after.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Juko.
Yo.
What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
Are you ready to celebrate a decade of making a positive climate impact? Join us in celebrating 10 years of Tree Adoption Uganda's mission to reforest and conserve our environment on the 18th of June 2023 at Makerere University Rugby Grounds. For a decade, we have been engaging in various climate action activities, especially tree growing, as well as advocating for combined efforts to restore Uganda's ecosystem. And the results speak for themselves: healthier communities and a greener tomorrow. Join us in our anniversary celebrations and be part of the Change Run for Climate 2023. Tickets go for Uganda shillings 20,000. To participate, visit our website at www.treeadoptionuganda.org to learn more about our mission and how you can get involved. Let us continue to plant the seeds of change together with Tree Adoption Uganda.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Mwana Yesu ndi mubirowozo ulije njukira mwana niwe ulije nkwata kunti mwana niwe uwembulire nyimbo jalavu taka niwe tiwe mlone filimu ya lavu aba niwe kado tambule mukagwa kado chuke moti mukagwa kado tambule mukagwa kado chuke moti jeje mwana Yesu nali nsinyire akubazenkani mwana Yesu nali nsinyire kutambula ngazenka gawulia njagana yewulya nze lwaki mbazenkani gawulia monako yewulya akala kasakano akala kasakano mukagwa kado sembere mukagwa kado chuke mote mukagwa kado sembere mukagwa kado chuke mote webale kwiza webale kwiza mukagwa webale kwiza mukagwa webale kwiza This song is from Bugwere. It's a song about love. You know, it is written that God is love, and without love, you don't know God. If you don't love yourself, you can't give love. And if you don't love yourself, you don't know God either. That's what it is written. So today, Uganda, I am so happy to bring you love from Bugwere land. This song is a song of appreciation for a miracle that has come. And now I am going to take you into a land of stories. Uganda, I bring you Africa. I bring you a land of stories. The stories that our mothers told. The stories they sang in lullabies. While they were rocking us to sleep. While they were shushing us. Keeping us calm. Kujo, oh kujo, kujo, kalakata, kujo, kalakata, unjetera nikiwe, oh kwetera museiza kalakata, kujo, 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 kujo. Hey, my name is Katono, the smallest and yet the proudest of all the women in Kibuk village.
The women of my village, they don't lock their gaze with mine. When they see me, they push their noses into their mouths. And I will tell you why. Owamani, my husband, he is the village bull. His skin is covered in a flawless dark complexion. And the women of Kibuku call him the edible blackberry. His manly mane makes him a beast. His voice roars commands. He stands on the swales of mine home with a firm grip. His footsteps leave a mark on the swales of man home. Owamani, the village wrestler, is the one with strength and might. Yes, that is what his name means, Owamani. When the bull enters the ring first, silence befalls the earth. And then the men of Kibuku throw their arms and bet amidst themselves of a sure win. The women of Kibuku, they cheer in traditional songs and dances. Our opponents wear fear. While in the ring, the bull's face wears fury. His body shakes, veins draw on his neck. His nostrils breathe fire. He runs up his opponent, and in one take, victory! The men of Kibuku throw their arms, and the women cheer in songs and dances. And our opponents, they tear. The women of Kibuku do not lock their gaze with mine. I am the smallest and yet the proudest woman of Kibuku village. And now you know why. Kojo eh, kojo eh, kojo eh, yeah yeah, kojo eh, Koizeyo, Uganda. Thank you so much. Kojo eh.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
My name is Atube Richard, a member of a group called Kanyope, located in Bungatira sub-county. This group started in 2008, but the Prel Nol project started supporting us in 2009. The project has offered us training on farming, and the training we got has helped us immensely. We used to farm in a traditional way, planting a variety of crops. But when the team from Prel Nol approached us, they asked us to choose particular seeds to grow which can yield very well in our area. We chose groundnuts and rice, which we are growing. With this kind of farming, the project also taught us how to sell as a group after finding a market. The support from the project has been so good to us.
Jerrycan! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Buy Jerrycan with muscle! Those ones who say go for you only. Mundawa! Best good business I teach you. When I go to which the squad, because of the camera is very far. Is you serious? Is serious you? What? Yeah? You stay put on it. Add kilometers to your legs, and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru, and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, wait. Jerry,
okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public.
By one MP, you yourself.
And my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, the amazing art of storytelling. I felt like I was watching some kind of movie. It was really transforming and quite a good one. I hope you enjoyed that. Right now, we want to get into the weather update for this morning. We'll be looking at our satellites. We did start off with mostly cloudy weather. That is for the southwestern part of the country as well as Cabo Delgado. It is still quite chilly over there, but it looks like that cloud is also starting to clear, so that should be paving way for more sun to come through. Otherwise, it is also a sunny morning across northern Uganda, parts of eastern Uganda, the central, as well as the Lake Victoria Basin. Right now, we're looking at a few clouds that are starting to develop over the islands of Lake Victoria, and most of that over Kalangala. But it looks like that will also be developing into wet weather activities later on as the day progresses. We also have more clouds that are developing over land, that is in the Lake Victoria Basin. So this morning we're dealing with just a mix of clouds and sunshine, and looks like that is also keeping a little bit of temperatures high, so meaning that we could also be looking at quite a warm one for most areas within the country. And also similar weather again across the western part of the country as well. We're looking at a mix of clouds and sunshine, but it looks like we're also expecting more wet weather activities later on in the afternoon. And we continue to see more development of low pressure systems that is over the Indian Ocean, and usually those do affect our weather, in that now the moisture that would be coming towards our area, bringing in more rains, are now going to be moving towards most of these low pressure systems. And because of that, we start to look at a reduction in wet weather activities over several places. And most of that we're seeing over the Indian Ocean, those are far towards the eastern side, and that is where we usually have wet weather coming through, or some of the moisture coming through. And from those orange to red colors that we're seeing on the map, that is where we have low pressure systems, and those are the ones responsible for the reduction in rains across our country. The hope is that by the time these dissipate or fill in, then we can have a normal trend of a few southeasterly winds coming in from the ocean towards our area, and that should be bringing in wet weather activities over several places. But also looking ahead at what we expect for today from the medium range forecasts, we're looking at much more of the weather activities, especially in terms of rains expected for the western sector. That means we still have that Congo air mass moving in, advecting towards the western side. That is likely to bring us rains. Where we have those deep colors, blue colors on the map, that is where we expect more rains for today. We also want to look ahead into what we can expect for Saturday. We still look at a trend of wet weather activities over the northern parts of the country. There will be a pickup across central north, so Gulu, Kitgum, Padel. That is also extending all the way up to Arua, Yumbe, the northwestern side. We might be having much more rains for you over Saturday. Also parts of southwestern Uganda as well as Cabo Delgado. But otherwise, we're seeing a reduction over central and parts of the Lake Victoria Basin, so meaning that we'll have a few rains over there. And as we cross over into Sunday, again, we see more reduction for generally the entire country. We're looking at those light blue colors indicating just a few millimeters of rains expected for Sunday. Much more of that will be concentrated to the Elgon region, areas of Mbale that might extend up to Kapchora. Also for areas of that is Bududa, we could be looking at a few rains for you on Sunday. But then again, the rest of the country you have a significant reduction. Quite a dry one for western Uganda as well as midwestern and Cabo Delgado. So that will be quite a sunny one for you, and one to keep in mind also for parts of central across Welo. We're looking at Nakaseke, Nakasongola. It's going to be quite a dry and hot one over Sunday, so that is one that you can be aware of. And obviously, if you do have your activities over the weekend and you're aware of the weather, it gets easier to plan, and that is where you again need to look into which ones you need to consider, especially for some of the parties that you probably have outdoor activities. You might want to consider a day where there's less rains for you to plan on doing that. Or also as well, there's when people just need a little bit of rains and maybe for a certain activity, then you can consider at least Saturday and Friday. We might have a lot of that, but Sunday looks much more drier. But talking about activities that we plan for the weekend, we also do give you a few tips on where to go, especially when it comes to the entertainment, movies or books. And some of them that are catching our eye this weekend, we're looking at some of the movies that are streaming today. And a lot of those are already sparking most mixed reactions, and especially the movie that I will spot for you first when we're talking about the Spider-Verse. Now, well, we have gotten familiar with the story of Spider-Man right from the Marvel movies, and of course him being made a superhero, even him joining, the Avengers and all that. And there is always a way that series are projecting, this series of movies are projecting the story of Spider-Man. But then again, Marvel decided to bring out a second movie that is now telling of what becomes of Spider-Man after he has interacted with other superheroes in the world, and of course mostly talking about the Avengers. Now, this is a story that is taking you through after reuniting with Gwen Stacy, Brooklyn's full-time friendly neighborhood. Spider-Man is, catapulated across the multiverse, where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. However, when the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles finds himself pitted against the other spiders. Now, he must soon redefine what it means to be a hero so he can save the people he loves most. That is the story that Marvel is bringing out this year, and of course starring some of the very, very good actors and actresses, one of those being Hailey Steinfeld. She is acting as Ghost Spider. Hailey is best known for her music. She's mostly in music, but has also made appearances in movies. For example, Bumblebee. She has also been in Bumblebee and the first Spider-Man that came out. Hailey was there. But also looking at Miles, that is Shameik Moore, who is playing Miles Morales, also in there. He has also been in the first movie that was the Spider-Man as well. He's an American rapper, best known for his comic appearances as well. He has appeared in a movie, Dope, the one that came out that was in 2015. A very, very good character that you don't want to miss looking at. Let's take a look into the trailer.
I can hear you being quiet, Mom.
I hope I didn't ice your game, man.
No one my age says those words in that order.
It's just hard to see my little man not being my little boy all the time.
Yeah.
For years I've been taking care of this little boy. Making sure he is loved, that he feels like he belongs wherever he wants to be. He wants to go out into the world and do great big things.
Not bad, kid.
And what I worry about most,
I love you, Miles.
is they won't look out for you like us.
Miles!
Want to get out of here? Wherever you go from here, you have to promise to take care of that little boy for me. Make sure he never forgets where he came from. And he never doubts that he is loved. And he never lets anyone Tell him that he doesn't belong there. You gotta promise, Miles.
I promise.
Who do you think you are? Really?
We are supposed to be the good guys.
We are.
That is Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse, obviously bringing out the stories of Spider-Man and where he has been, and a lot of things that are coming together right now. But obviously it is a family movie and you can go watch that. It is already showing in cinema and also streaming today, so you can go to your favorite cinema place and you will be able to watch. We know that it has come out with good ratings, although we have also seen a few countries that have had failure to release this, and among those the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Middle East community, due to, you know, probably they had issues with the production. But again, it is filming and coming out actually today across most of the cinemas, and people that have followed the Marvel movies would know that is still an action even when put in animation. Now, the next movie that is also coming out today actually will be showing in cinema as well, and you can catch it anywhere. We're talking about crossing over to DC, and that is The Flash. Now, the story of The Flash is literally also about a superhero. Well, when you look at the first movies that came out of Flash before the series, these were all predicting, you know, a fictitious nature of multiple worlds, and of course having a superhero that is taking things into his hands to make sure he can save lives. Well, this story, the movie that they're bringing out in 2023, the world collides when the Flash uses his superpowers to travel back in time, that is to change events of the past. However, when he attempts to save his family, in adventure after that, his attempt to get back to the future, he becomes trapped in a reality in which General Zod has returned, threatening a lot of things in his life. And of course, when with no other superheroes to turn to, the Flash looks to you know, get his way out of a very difficult situation, and that does not look good. And that is where now they are bringing in the story, of course bringing in Ezra Miller, who is now playing Barry Allen, again Barry Allen being the Flash. And of course Ezra has been around also when it comes to DC movies. He has been in the Flash that came out before. He has been in Fantastic Beasts that also brought out a lot of action over there, and of course looking at Justice League. He has also appeared in Justice League. We'll be looking at the trailer for more on what we can expect.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
Well, I am quite an interesting one. You see a story of Batman also coming into what is happening, what Flash has done. And of course, we're seeing some other superheroes that might come up in that movie. And I'm looking at Superman actually could be reappearing, or Supergirl. And, you know, a lot of what DC does, also bringing back these superheroes in one movie. So I'm thinking also we could be looking at a situation like that. But at least they have shown in the trailer, it does show Batman appearing, of course, when Flash is trapped into your world that of his own creation and is stuck in the past. How does he get into the future? This movie is also streaming today, coming out. And of course, you can hit any of your favorite cinema places. You'll be able to watch that as well. Now, another movie, one of the best actions to ever grace our screens in 2020, the movie Extraction, the first one that came out, bringing in a lot onto, you know, when it comes to rescue and most of that action that I thought was missing in 2020. Now they have a second movie, and of course here to take you through a story back to the blink of death. The last one ended when one commando who was leading a mission of people trying to rescue, you know, a group of guys that were trapped. Actually, one of the one who was heading that mission got shot, and we thought he died. Apparently, he's not. Now, back from the blink of death, Commando Tyler Rake embarks on a dangerous mission again to save a ruthless gangster gangster's imprisoned family. So this is an interesting one. I don't know how he crossed there, but it seems like he's there. Now this is the one being played by, that is Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is best known for his appearance in Thor movies. He has been the main character and playing Thor in the Marvel superhero. And of course he comes back with the same action. He did appear in the first movie, The Extraction, and is also going to be appearing in The Extraction 2. Let's take a look into the trailer.
Tyler, you were clinically dead 9 months ago. But you survived. You fought your way back. You just have to find out why. We got a contract. You were the client's request.
We gotta move! Right, everyone okay? Kids, you good?
Why did you come back for them? Do you know her? Tyler?
Getting you out of here, okay?
He told me to find the reason I fought my way back. Let's Let's find out.
Well, this is streaming right today on Netflix. I feel like this month is not giving us a break. Right from the tension in Fast X to now Extraction 2, that should be action to prepare for. And of course it does say prepare for the ride of your life. What is the end game? That is one to look out for. And of course, if you can get to Netflix, that is one movie that is trending. And of course, you should be looking to watch this weekend. Now, as well, if you want to catch a good read and have that book that will take you into imagining things that happen around us, well, this is a good one that is coming in, talking about a story of an avenging spirit that takes on the patriarchy from beyond the grave. An immigrant woman undergoes a neutralization ceremony in an imagined American state that demands that immigrants pay a toll of the things they love most. Well, a first-generation Zimbabwe American woman haunted by generational trauma is now willing to pay the ultimate price to take her pain away. Giving up her memories and neighborhood gossip as well, wakes up to find that houses are mysteriously vanishing. In the night, a shape-shifting freedom fighter leaves a legacy of resistance to her granddaughter. That is a story that is coming in the book, Drinking from the Graveyard Wines. Now, this is not for the faint-hearted. It has a lot of stories that will make you imagine the worst, but also giving in the Zimbabwean author Yvette Lisa a very, very good publishing note on what she did put across earlier. She did say this novel was going to come out in 2023, and it is among the bestsellers so far from the African writers, bringing us that whole storytelling that actually makes it the best this year. And of course, being her debut in the writing and also going internationally, this is a good book to actually read across. Obviously, it does explore the pains and trauma of an African woman, bringing in histories, but also making sure that the center of the voices of African women in storytelling do come across, which is why the collection was also made public. It has gone international and was done by the University Press of Kentucky. So far getting good ratings. Actually, one of the reviews gave it a 10 out of 10 when it comes to writing this year. Each narrative, according to the publisher's note, did bring out the literacy, eloquence, and tradition of South African mythology, transporting readers into the lives of what happens across the space of Africa, but also the things that we thought were myth. And of course, that brings in Drinking from the Graveyard Wells. That is one that you can also catch. It is available online, but also a lot of that on Amazon, on Google Kindle. Amazon Kindle, on Google Reads. You can also get that book and obviously get yourself quite an interesting story. We'll leave it at that. We do have sports as well coming up, and obviously we'll be looking at what to expect this weekend in terms of sports. When we get back also from that, there is still entertainment going on you can't afford to miss. My name is Molin Kenyina. I want to wish you a good weekend.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Jerry Con! Jerry Con! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Buy Jerry Con with muscle! Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava! Best movies I teach you. When I go to which the muscali, because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? Is yes you? What? Yeah? You stay put on it. Add kilometers to your legs, and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru, and Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, where? Jerry, car.
Okukakalukana okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako. N'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga. Awamu teri kitulema.
Ojja kumpa irisiti tompa birala irisiti ojja kumpa irisiti tompa birala mpa irisiti yange.
That's right. Insist on getting your e-receipt. It's your ticket to fantastic prizes, including motorbikes, laptops, fridges, and a fully paid 6-day safari for 2 in Uganda. Take a picture of your e-receipt, upload it to the URA website or mobile app, and you could be the lucky winner. The more receipts you upload, the higher your chances of winning. Terms and conditions apply. More details on our social media channels.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Are you ready to celebrate a decade of making a positive climate impact? Join us in celebrating 10 years of Tree Adoption Uganda's mission to reforest and conserve our environment on the 18th of June 2023 at Makerere University Rugby Grounds. For a decade, we have been engaging in various climate action activities, especially tree growing, as well as advocating for combined efforts to restore Uganda's ecosystem. And the results speak for themselves: healthier communities and a greener tomorrow. Join us in our anniversary celebrations and be part of the Change Run for Climate 2023. Tickets go for Uganda shillings 20,000. To participate, visit our website at www.treeadoptionuganda.org to learn more about our mission and how you can get involved. Let us continue to plant the seeds of change together with Tree Adoption Uganda.
Glad and blessed to be here this morning, of course, to give you the sports updates. We have a lot happening all over the globe. We have the European qualifiers, the AFCON qualifiers. Yesterday I was watching something on ESPN2, and I saw the Denver Nuggets big man, that is Doncic, Luka Doncic. He makes you laugh watching NBA. The size and the command and the ego that he comes up with. Of course, a basketball player with the size would always make you think that the paint belongs to him. I actually saw at the bio, he was trying to dunk against Luka, and Luka just used his body to shake him off, and for me it was a killer. Those who love basketball will tell you that the Miami Heat against the Denver Nuggets was a very, very good final. That it was actually the show of big men, and Kyle Lowry, the former Toronto Raptors player, said it in a press conference that you can't play against Luka Doncic. He's so talented that you can't stop him from dominating the paint. I mean, they swept Lakers 4-0 in the series, and I thought King LeBron did not show up. The last time I saw a player dominate the paint was actually when I always talk about Desmond Owili. I liked his size and the way he could dominate play in the paint. So Luka Doncic is one of the players who could always dominate the paint. Paint, I mean, that's that D on the basketball court. It's called the paint. Anyway, but what I was driving home, I got a message from a guy who loves basketball, Liki, and asked me between Luka Doncic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I would go for. I think I would go for, basing on their, if everybody is at his best, I'll go for Giannis. Giannis is 7'1", Luka is 7'8". And I love Giannis because Giannis is combined three. Giannis plays defense. Giannis is a small, can be a player as a small forward, can even play as a center, as a big center. Those who know basketball tell you that a big center is so key as you break off play is so important as a player. Anyway, but back to football, away from the NBA basketball. If I talk about basketball, I will not stop because I love the game. I just love watching basketball. I don't know why, but I love. Anyway, we have games in Europe, the qualifiers, and I will start with Group B. Gibraltar will take on France at 9:45 p.m. and that would be today or tonight. Then Greece will take on Ireland. That will be at 9:45 as well. That is the European qualifiers 2024. Then Group C, Malta will take on England. Now this is a walkover for the Three Lions. I don't see Malta putting up any resistance against England. Then North Macedonia, the team that beat Italy and actually did spoil the party for the Italians to qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, playing in action against Ukraine. Then Group D, Latvia will take on Turkey. Turkey has just voted a president, but they take on Latvia. And then Wales will take on Armenia. That will be in Group D. And of course, Group H, Finland takes on Slovenia. Finland one time had a player called Jari Litmanen, one of the best players I've watched in my time. Jari Litmanen played for Liverpool and I think Inter Milan. No, Ajax. It wasn't about Ajax Amsterdam. Played for Ajax, Litmanen. Then Slovenia had Zahovic, one of the playmakers of my time. Today there's no playmaker on the pitch where you can rely on a player. But then you could have a playmaker, a shot 10, who would call for everything on that pitch in the midfield. So Slovenia had a player called Zahovic, and he was a good player. Denmark takes on Ireland. That will be at 9:45 as well. San Marino takes on Kazakhstan. That is in Group H. Then Group I, Andorra takes on Switzerland. Belarus will take on Israel. Switzerland has a player called Bril Embolo. Embolo is a name in Switzerland, not something you Fanimaganders would think of. I know many would laugh and say, who is called Embolo? No, he's not what you think as Baganders, but he's a player who plays for Switzerland, the shirt 7. So don't quote me as somebody who's speaking vulgar. Anyway, Belarus takes on Israel. That will be at 9:45 as well. Then Kosovo would take on Romania. Not the Kosovo of Lunguja. Some people would think that it's the Kosovo of Lunguja. No, Kosovo was actually broke off from Russia, the Soviet Union. There is Kosovo, there's Montenegro, there is Serbia, all those countries, but that broke off from Russia and the famous Soviet Union are now countries of their own. So Kosovo takes on Romania, not the Kosovo of anyway, I want to go there. Those are the games we shall be having in the European qualifiers 2024. Then the CONCACAF Nations League semi-finals, Panama takes on Canada. Then we'll have USA against Mexico or Mexico. Then of course it have international friendlies. Honduras will be in action against Venezuela. Costa Rica will take on Guatemala. China against Myanmar. Now the country that gives me headache to pronounce is Myanmar. How people can pronounce it, I don't know. For me, where I come from, Myanmar is something that is a sugar cane in Ibuikwe. So it's a country somewhere anyway. Chinese Taipei takes on Thailand. South Korea takes on Peru. Those are friendlies. Singapore takes on Papua New Guinea. Then Kyrgyzstan takes on Iran. Sweden against New Zealand. Serbia, Jordan, Poland, Germany. Those are friendlies. Then Colombia will take on Iraq. And now the Gold Cup, we have a couple of games in the Gold Cup as well. Trinidad and Tobago will take on Guadeloupe. Trinidad and Tobago, those who knew a player called Dwight York played for Trinidad and Tobago. He actually the famous player who won a treble outside Europe was Dwight York, who played for Man U for over 5-6 years when he left Aston Villa, and he won a treble in '99. So that's a country that he represented in the world, Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, other games, under 21 games, I've got to leave them at this and go to messages briefly about just one message or two. Okay, Nexus, how are you today? Hope you're fine. I know, thanks so much for watching. But there's a message here I have from David Son, who says that, good morning, Ruben. Which player played for SC Milan during the Arrigo Sacchi days at right back? There were 3 players at right back first for Arrigo Sacchi. There was Christian Panucci, who played for him. There was Alberigo Evans and Mauro Tassotti. So he would choose who to start alongside Franco Baresi and Villa Costacata plus Paolo Maldini. So I can't tell. But under Arrigo Sacchi and Fabio Capello, those spell, the 8-year spell for the Milan dominancy had all the defenders. They had Tassotti, Alberigo Evans, Franco Baresi, Paolo Maldini, Christian Panucci, and Alberigo Evans. So it's a coach who would choose who to start in what kind of game. Then the midfield had Leonardo Donadoni, Daniel Massaro. They had Marcelo Desailly to pick from. Then up front was Marco Simoni. They had Marco Simoni, Savicevic, Rudy Hulit. They had Boban. So those were the good. That was a spell from 88 to 94. That's for me. I've watched club football, and I've never seen a team like assembled by AC Milan. Frank Rijkaard, Rudy Hulit, Marco van Basten. You got players like the Italians, Sebastian Rossi in goal, Marco Simoni, Paolo Maldini, Franco Baresi, Alberigo Evans, Tassotti. All those played for the famous AC Milan. Now it is Kalulu and but then we have got to go. I'll leave the floor for the team, a Field 1 team, take you through up the hour of 9. But we'll be on Monday, take you through, and I'll return. Of course, the score will be here. John Barnes, Michael, and Grace will be here to take you through sports. And I hope they'll talk about the qualifiers as they come. But for me, I wish you a lovely weekend. Good morning.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral.
By one MP, you yourself.
And my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. It's One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Ojja kumpa irisiti tompa bidala irisiti ojja kumpa irisiti tompa bidala mpa irisiti yange. That's right, insist on getting your e-receipt. It's your ticket to fantastic prizes including motorbikes, laptops, fridges and a fully paid 6-day safari for 2 in Uganda. Take a picture of your e-receipt, upload it to the URA website or mobile app and you could be the lucky winner. The more receipts you upload, the higher your chances of winning. Terms and conditions apply. More details on our social media channels.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
The Magical Egypt Tour 2023 is here. A heavenly miracle waiting across the natural and divine attractions of Egypt, such as Cairo, Giza Pyramids, Saqqara, Memphis, and many more that will offer the gift of a lifetime. The chance to unlock all of the hidden powers of mind and soul, gain the enlightenment of the past and the future, and develop the power of healing. Departure will be Friday 16th up to 23rd June 2023. Basic package starting at $1,200, 8 days and 7 nights. To register, come to Gotove Tours and Travel at Nalkwego Complex Suta, UG's Extender, George Street, Nakasero, or call +256 758 530 059 or +256 784 568 392 or WhatsApp +256 782 556 078. Only few slots are left. Powered by UBC Television.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Hallelujah Ginger Tea drink and Hallelujah Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Hallelujah Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Hallelujah from all shops around.
My name is Atube Richard, a member of a group called Kanyope, located in Bungatira sub-county. This group started in 2008, but the Prel Knoll project started. The support from the project has been so good to us.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Friday special here with you on UBC TV. My name is Philomena. Well, of course, we are coming close to the end. Not yet there, but we're coming close. Well, today is a special, definitely, because we do have a special guest in the house. That is Zoe. Zoe has already given us some performances, breathtaking performances, if I must say. She's a storyteller and she's a singer. Imagine combining those two things. The last performance for me was just it, creating and painting a picture. For a minute I thought I was there, whoever she was talking about and describing. For a minute I thought I was a character in the story that she was, giving us. But yes, I have her joining me this very minute, and we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking a lot about what it is that she does. We already know, but what exactly is the inspiration behind it? What are the challenges? Why that very specific talent and skill? All of it we'll be talking. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good morning once again.
Inviting me.
Very, very happy to have you here. And must I say, you are very talented. Your previous performance, Jesus Christ, I couldn't. And I'm sure you could see the excitement that was really exuded by a couple of people who were in studio. Very, very, very wonderful. But happy Friday. How has your week been?
The week?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit...
it's up and down, up and down.
Yeah, we lost someone at home, so it's a bit really tight.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, but it's been a good one, and then we got...
I can imagine. It's always very hard when you lose somebody close to you, or maybe you know them. I'm so sorry for your loss. Well, getting into what you did for us a couple of minutes, your performance. I do understand you are a storyteller and also a singer. But I would love for you to tell me more about this whole storytelling. What is it exactly? What does it entail? Create a picture for us before we, get into your personal relationship with this very specific talent.
Yeah, well, I'm a storyteller, and I do tell my stories through spoken word, through music and theater, for both young audiences and adults. And I believe there are stories all over around us. The desire to give these stories life and take my listener into that world.
Okay. Well, Zoe, we are talking about storytelling here, telling us how there is already something happening around you. Now, of course, I am sure that as a viewer, you really want to understand the inspiration. Can you talk about anything, or are there certain things that you will pick on to create for you a story, or to help you create a story? And maybe much later on, she'll be helping us understand the relationship, or maybe it could be one thing, storytelling and a spoken word, because I have interacted with a couple people who do spoken word, and I would also love to understand if the same skill applies to storytelling. You talked about a spoken word. Is it in the same category with storytelling, or these are two different skills altogether?
Spoken word and storytelling, they go hand in hand.
Okay.
Yes. Spoken word is in many forms, or storytelling is in many forms of spoken word.
Okay.
There's folklore storytelling, there's poetry, there's music, that's spoken word.
Okay.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing this for?
For storytelling?
Storytelling?
I've participated in storytelling from the time I was a child.
Oh.
Listening to my grandmother, listening to my uncles and aunties, and at school participating in MDD. And I didn't know that God was weaving a way for me here today. And then I find myself on stage telling stories.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what would you attribute some of these, especially when we're looking at skills? Are there particular skills that you'd have to have as a person who is a storyteller, as a singer, person like you? Do you have specific skills that you would attribute this talent to?
Yeah. Storytelling is performance, engagement with your audience. It's writing, reading. It is being present in that place, taking your audience into that world. So you have to build up those skills. And then also you build up the skill of reading your audience, you know, connecting with them. Yeah, the skills that you really have to.
Okay. Yeah. You know, when you were doing that story about what was it? Yes, I felt like it was, you were like narrating a book, or you were writing a book, or it was a book that you probably read and then you were narrating. It was so beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't think I would. I don't think that is a skill definitely I have, but I would totally appreciate it if I saw it. So. What is the inspiration behind some of these stories that you actually tell?
Most stories have come from a life I have lived. A woman and my husband, I have had the opportunity of growing up in the village and also experiencing the city and experiencing a life outside Uganda. And there's this beauty about this life in the village and these memories, and how love is there and how love is in the city. And so these experiences that I've had inspire me to write. And then also God inspires me so much to write, you know. Sometimes I would dream, and then I dream and I have to put that dream into a story, you know. And sometimes it's life. There are some sad experiences I've had, and then I notice everybody, there are people who have had them. And then as an artist, you know, it's a great opportunity for God, or a gift for God to make you an artist, because it's like He gives you a part of Himself.
Yes,
you create, and then you connect with the people, you know, like you have to feel what they feel and release it to them. So yeah, so I create after when I see that this is something affecting community or people. Then I release it.
So everyday things, everyday issues around us, something that your audience can actually relate to. Well, it absolutely makes sense.
And then there are babies, my audience, the babies.
Oh,
yes.
How do you do that? Like, how do you deal now with the babies? Because this is like a whole different bracket of human beings.
Oh, yes. So I have audiences, two audiences.
Okay.
I have the adult audience, then I have the young audience. Babies are the toddlers, and then the ones in school, in high school.
Yes.
So I have to understand their world. It's a bit tricky because this audience is very challenging.
Yes. Which one?
The young ones.
The young ones,
They're challenging because they're in the world of their own. You can't understand them. Instead, you have to dip into their world, but sometimes it's hard to enter it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
So they inspire me to think and to learn and to learn. And then there's the writing audience where I need to write because I'm a writer.
Yeah.
All that inspires me to learn and sit and learn,
Yeah.
Wow. You are an all-round person, I must say, when it comes to the skill.
Yes.
Writing, we're looking at storytelling, we're, telling. How do you balance all of this anyway?
I think it's a passion.
Yes.
It's a revelation, the revelation that God gave me. And God helps me because I know I need him to do this. So sometimes I'll go and sit under him and wait for his instruction to do this. If I have a performance somewhere and they have told me you're going to write about dementia, I have to sit under God and ask him, what do I write? Who needs this? Who needs to hear this?
Yes.
And he will guide me. It just comes up inside and I will know what to do. Then learning. I have to learn, even from a child, even from a mad person. I have to take that place of humility and learn. Learning, that's very important.
Well, you really have to get into it to understand it.
Yes.
You know what they say, learning never ends. At
never.
every point in life, you're learning
That's right.
something, you're probably teaching something. So for somebody that really appreciates your work, how do we access it? Where do you put your work? Where do you show off your work? Because this is just an amazing talent that I'm pretty sure, just like very many people out there get to appreciate. It's not like every day you meet people who are this good. So how do you show off your work and where do you show it? How do we get to access it?
Oh, thank you so much. I love it when you say my work is good. It's encouraging.
No, it's amazing.
Thank
I was really blown away. I'm sure somebody will say, but Philomena, this could have been personal, but honestly, to God, it was just good work.
Thank you so much. Well, I love using Instagram and Facebook, and I've noticed that the world loves my art. At first it was a bit scary.
See?
At first it was a bit scary.
Yes.
I had a YouTube account, but then I stopped. But then I've noticed the world is very receptive.
Yes.
And then there's also, when they are receptive, there's a hunger that comes within me and I want to give more. Now, I use African Zoe. You can find me African Zoe, and Zoe ends in Y.
Yes.
When you put in Zoe in Google, it brings everything.
So African Zoe, that is Z-O-E-Y.
Yes.
African Zoe.
Yeah.
So I know you have one final performance for us. What is it going to be?
It's a spoken piece about my village life. Like I said, you will notice that most of my writing brings you back to the village, brings you to that African life. I feel like I'm a mother Africa, pouring out Africa into the world. And this piece is called My Village Love. Unfortunately, the person I wrote for, they got married.
Okay. But at least we are glad that they were part of the inspiration. and we are the final beneficiaries of the good work. Well, it's sad, but it's wonderful in a way. It's bittersweet kind of thing. Well, it's Good Morning Uganda. I do have Zoe here, a storyteller and a singer. We have been talking much more about what it is that she does, what is storytelling. And she has one final performance, and definitely we would be very excited to hear about it. And also, just shortly go for a break. When we get back, we'll be ready to say our goodbyes and get ready for the final performance.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, it's Good Morning Uganda. Of course, time for us to leave you. Of course, that doesn't mean that we don't love you. We love you, but we have to leave you. Thank you so much for staying with us all the way from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, finally till today. And allow me to wish you a wonderful and very beautiful weekend, very productive weekend, if you can actually have that. We will see each other again on Monday next week. And we're coming in very fresh with more fantastic discussions we'll be having with you. It's always a pleasure to start off the day with you. I will leave you with Zoe and the final performance for the day. I am Philomena Masco. Good morning, Uganda.
Before I perform, I would like to remind you we have a show happening this Sunday at the National Theatre. Gets open at 4 p.m. A ticket goes for only 30K. Please come through. Here is My Village Love. My village love. He's not educated. He will say, "How are you?" And I will answer, "I'm fine." I love how he looks in those faded ripped jeans that expose his dry knees, and in that cream shirt, a father's gift to a son. He has not much, but his love is pure. It flows from his heart into mine. My village love. He will sell his chicken to buy me a plastic rose on Lover's Day. In fact, that reminds me of the last Lover's Day. He sent Kaunda to come and remind me that we were to meet under our special mango tree. Kaunda phoned me, bent over the basin, washing my auntie's red gomesi. Oh, my heart ached to catch a glimpse of my lover under the moonlight. He has not much, but his love is pure. It flows from his soul into mine. My village love is my father's pride, the epitome of his father's noble character. He sits around the elder's table and shares his father's wisdom. The gray-haired nod in agreement that indeed he, my village love, is my father's pride. He has not much, but his love is pure. It flows from his heart into mine. Thank you.
Tenkwata neke keno nyanga temona wabirende iwe taoneka temuna nani onu gwembinganga tenkwata nani onu gwenonyanga temuna wabirende iwe tawoneka ntambwire buli wamu ontokerewo ntambwire buli kimu nkolereku ntambwire buli wamu ngezeryeku wabirende iwe tawoneka wabirende iwe tawoneka Todemba demba, todemba demba, oikiririe, chibumba ni akaba, todemba demba, todemba demba, oikiririe, chibumba ni akaba. This song is an encouragement for you not to give up. If you're chasing a dream, keep on chasing. Todemba demba, todemba demba, oikiririe, chibumba ni akaba. Todemba demba, todemba demba, oikiririe, chibumba ni akaba. Mwana iwanonya sente iwanonya fumbo iwanonya sente oikiririe kibomba ni agaba oikiririe kibomba ni agaba Thank you, Uganda. Thank you.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *100 *10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice,